What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Underdog Wealth Academy. Today I am joined by Shane Wilde, who is one of my best buds. We've gotten really close lately. So Shane, thanks for joining me, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
I'm stoked to be on here.
We were just talking about the parade of homes. We went on a group date a couple of nights ago to the parade of homes, and anyway, we might jam on that later in the episode and talk about some of the
controversy.
Yeah, we went and saw the Crumble Cookie owner's house, and it is insane. If you're in Utah County and you haven't gone and seen that house, you should go see that. It's pretty crazy. But anyway, Shane and I met through a mastermind called Dream Bigger Faster, run by Brody Fawcett, and we've known each other now for a couple months, but I feel like you have those friends in life where you've only known them for a little while, but you feel like you've been buds for a long time. And I feel that about our friendship.
Totally. I feel the same way. I was talking with Blake Erickson, who was on your podcast a couple weeks ago. This was a while ago. I've known Blake for a little while, and he's like, you know who you remind me of? You remind me of Parker Vassaw. I think you guys are going to be great friends.
That's so awesome.
And so I was stoked when we got to know each other a couple months ago. I was like, I think we could be good buds.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we have a lot in common.
Anyways.
Our wives like each other a lot. I feel like we go have a lot of fun on dates and stuff. We've made some good memories already together. So
totally.
I guess quick intro on Shane. Shane is a high-end luxury real estate agent, so sells real estate in Park City and Utah County primarily, but kind of all over. But that's kind of your area of expertise.
Yeah.
Also a real estate investor. A lot of my followers are very interested in real estate investing. That's been a big part of my journey. And so Shane owns some really cool real estate, a motel, and some other properties. So we'll get into that a little bit, talk about your philosophy with investing. Also just has an amazing family. One of the things that I want to ask Shane about is just like him and his wife. It feels like they have such an aligned, cool vision in terms of just like what they're building from a wealth standpoint. Like she's kind of entrepreneurial, and you guys, it just feels like you're pulling the same rope, which is super cool.
Yeah.
You went to Utah State, and then you have two daughters.
Yep.
What are the ages of your daughters again?
They're almost 6 and 3.
Cool.
So they're just young. We're just in the thick of it, and it's literally we're just having the time of our lives.
So awesome, man.
They're fun. We're out of diapers until the next one comes, and it's fun.
It's so
been
cool.
Really fun.
That's awesome. That's cool. And then you guys live just south in Woodland Hills.
Yeah.
And they live in an amazing home, actually. And are actually moving probably closer to trying to get to Park City, because that's where you're selling a lot of your real estate, right?
Kind of a strategic move, if you will, to be closer. I put a lot of miles on my truck and my wife's car.
Yeah.
So I think it was time to maybe get a little closer. It takes me about an hour and a half from where we live in Woodland Hills to Park City, where I'm going multiple times a week. So
yeah, that makes sense. That's cool. Cool. Well, yeah, I'm excited to chat. I think the first question I wanted to talk about, just because it's on my mind, I talked about you and your wife, but it feels like there's a lot of couples that newly married, and I know you guys are not newly married. You've been married for 10 years or so, right?
Yeah.
10 plus. But it feels like a lot of young couples could learn from you and your wife in terms of just like pulling the same rope in the same direction. She's very entrepreneurial. She runs her own podcast. But it just feels like every time my wife and I get together with you guys, that's one of our takeaways always, is it just feels like you both bring this equal excited energy to life, business, finances, creating memories with your kids, all that stuff. So what nuggets could you kind of share, advice could you share to a lot of my followers that are like ages 18 to 25, a lot of single people and newly married people, in terms of just getting aligned and aligning your field goal post, if you will?
That's a really cool question. It has my mind spinning on a lot of things. First of all, I will say that my wife is a saint, and it's funny that you go you date someone for 6 months, a year, here in Utah, maybe a couple months, and you decide to be with them for eternity, you know?
Yep.
And you barely know them at that point.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I lucked out hardcore. My wife is amazing, and if I keep talking about her, I'll probably cry.
Yeah.
But I feel like it matters so much who you marry. And you don't really know exactly, but I think one of the biggest things is we always said that we wanted to live, or we wanted to experience all 4 seasons together. We wanted to see how you respond to this or that.
When dating?
Or when dating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And anyway, so we dated for 6 months. We're engaged for 6 months.
Cool.
But my wife is someone who I knew right off the bat that cared deeply for other people. And I think that has been instrumental for what you were saying, us pulling the same rope. She deeply cares, obviously, for me and our children, but she will give the shirt off her back for anyone. So when I think about us kind of pulling the rope together, how we do life is she has that respect for me and I have that respect for her. We were talking when we first got married that when we wanted to or when we were to be married, it wasn't just 50-50.
Yeah.
You give 50, she gives 50. It was you give 100% and I give 100%.
Right.
And honestly, I think about that probably at least once a week. Someone told us that early on, and I think about it, and I think that really is that mindset shift. For me to give 100% and for her to give 100% is really how you can make that work.
Yeah. I love that, and I see that in you guys because I like for me putting like an example or just like going deeper on the 50-50 thing because like mathematically that makes sense, right? But the problem there, man, is like if you draw clear lines and it's like this is my role, that's your role. I just feel like there's just it's when you go 100, it feels like 1 + 1 equals 3, right?
Yeah.
Like I go to work, I grind all day, I come home, and instead of like I got my job done, like I'm gonna kick my feet up now.
Yes.
It's like I'm gonna go now clock into this other thing that's super meaningful for me.
Yeah.
And then same goes for both of our wives are kind of entrepreneurial. It's like they're amazing women at home, but they also like have things that light them up elsewhere, and so they go lean into those, which might be their other 50% to get them to 100, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I had probably shouldn't share this, but I had one of my really close friends growing up. His dad made a ton of money young, and he was not an amazing. This dad was not an amazing example.
Yeah.
In my opinion of what we're talking about. I'm definitely not going to go name a name, but like his mentality as a father legit was I made the money, I did my thing, my job's done, yours is not done. Our children are not yet reared. And it messed up their kids. And so like to your point, I love this concept of like, yes, we both have primary roles and things that like we've signed up for, and we want to support each other in those so that I can be masculine and you can be feminine. But at the same time, it's like that doesn't mean I'm just going to go turn the lights off in these other parts of my life because I want to show up for you there too when I can.
Right.
I think that's
I feel like there's a bit. My wife, if my wife was on here, she'd have a lot to say about all of that.
Yeah.
Because she's pretty passionate about it.
I've noticed that, like
gender roles, right? And there is a stigma of the husband. He's making the money, right? And he comes home, kicks his feet up.
Yeah.
The wife makes dinner.
Yep.
Takes care of the kids, cleans up, and he kicks his feet up and goes to bed, right?
Yep.
And if that works for people, then great.
Yeah.
That works for you. But I think this day and age, I don't think there's a place for that, especially with there's a lot more but where both parents are working,
Yeah.
right? Where in our situation, both of our wives are entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And that brings another little twist into things too of they have their things running, I have my things running. Why can't I put the dishes in the dishwasher?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or why can't I be the one that's home, like to be able to take the kids to school or something, right? And I think as an entrepreneur, I'm very proud that I get to do those sort of roles, and because a lot of people don't, and I think it's a choice. I think there's room for whatever works for you. I'm not condemning one way or another.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that when choosing to, going back to the pulling the rope at the bolt at the same time.
Yep.
When going back to that, you have to be willing to run the house and be the provider together.
Yeah.
There's no you do this and you do this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, in our household, we still have things where, like, I'm primarily over taking out the garbage can every week, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I'm primarily over getting the mail, and I will, like, those sort of things that, like, have to get done. We like to kind of say, okay, whose roles and responsibility is this, right? But not to the extent of one gets to put their feet up where the other is sitting there working their butt off,
right?
You know, or vice versa.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. I've been thinking a ton lately about this concept of like the golden years. I feel like both of us right now are in like this awesome stage in life where we worked really hard in our 20s. We're starting to have, like, we have kids now. I don't want to look back in my life and not feel like I just took full advantage and lived in the present in my golden years, quote unquote golden years. But I also have this thing where I'm like, I look back 10 years ago and I'm like, those were also golden years.
Totally.
You know, like, and I think that a lot of times as humans, we have this temptation to believe like the next phase of my life will be really amazing, but this one I'm just going to like put my head down and muscle through it.
Yeah.
I look at the way you and Andrea kind of like just live, parent your kids. It just feels like you're obviously a way high income earner. You're crushing it. You live in an insane house. Like you're winning there, but you also like there's not this feeling when I'm with you of stressed, over leveraged, like redlining it. Like there's intentionality and like willingness to enjoy like just moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess maybe the question is just like, how are you finding that now? And then even if someone is 18, 20, 22, like how do they go just enjoy like where they're at in life and balance that with like being a hustler still?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's come, Andrea and I have had some really good ups and some really bad downs.
Yeah.
And we've won and we've lost. And I think we've kind of just, I feel like one of my daily things that I say kind of as my morning routine, one of my lines in this routine is I take risks. And I love that I have taken risks because they usually turn out good for me. And I don't say that to be prideful, but literally it says I take risks because they usually turn out good for me. And I like that because I'm training my mind that I'm fine taking risks. I've won some and I've lost some, but I'm training my mind to whatever that risk is, I'm fine because I usually will be okay. You know? And I like to think about that every day when I'm thinking about, okay, what do we have going? What do we not have going? But my mom said something when I was growing up that really has stuck with me, and maybe this would help some of the listeners. She would say when things would kind of go wrong, she would say, people are more important than things. And I really liked that because a lot of times, myself included, I get caught up in the hustle and bustle, and I got to do this before I'm 25. I got to do this before I'm 35. And although that's great, and I love the hard work and all of that, but I think what's been really good for us is putting people before the things, or putting people first in general, because people are where your money will come from. I believe that relationships are so important. And if you can grow your relationships, grow your friend pool, grow your who you're around, I feel like that's super important.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's almost like regardless of the game that you're playing in or the arena that you're playing in, like the people component is so important.
Yeah.
Like I joke with my wife sometimes, like people at church will come up to me and be like, "How's pest control?" And I'm like, I know I work in pest control, but I mainly like people are 90% of my thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously I have partners that work more in pest control than I do, but like people light me up, probably similar to what you were just talking about. I think if you can understand people and become an expert in people and just like intentionally make relationships throughout your life, it will come back. It'll just not just be worth it financially, but like just like life is so much more beautiful when you're surrounded by people that you enjoy.
Yeah. And I feel like your success has come directly from that, right? You're a very good people person, and that's why people are drawn to want to come sell with you, and I think that's the golden ticket. One of the golden tickets.
People are life. So you said that thing about risks, which I want to maybe go deeper on. You've had a lot of, are you 34?
34.
And you've had a ton of success. Let's talk just about your path a little bit. So you went to Utah State.
Mm-hmm.
From what I know, I was talking about this with your wife on our last group date, where you were kind of going like the engineer route, and then you made a pivot from like, I'm going to go work for someone to like, I'm going to work for myself at some point and take risks, to your point. Like, tell me about that transition and just kind of like because I think of your 20s as like the decade of decisions, if you will.
Totally.
And I mean, not that you can't make pivots later in life. A lot of people do. But it feels like you did a lot of things in your 20s that kind of laid a foundation for you. So maybe just speak to
where you're going, right? I started at Utah State, and I really wanted to be an engineer. I had a lot of I didn't have anyone in my family that was. It just really intrigued me, and quite honestly, it was really hard for me. There were a couple of the classes that were really hard for me, and I was like, do I need to do something different? And so I ended up switching over to business, and it was by far the best decision that I could have ever done. And I'll plug in to maybe a little thing that it's okay to start down one road and figure out that that's not the right road to go down, right? And then redirect and go down another road until honestly God tells you to stop.
Oh, I think of that. Do you remember that Elder Holland video back in the day? We were probably teenagers when that came out, or maybe
one of my favorite talks.
It's like it's a talk that he gave, and there was like video behind it that they made where I think it's he and a family member or something. I don't remember what the exact thing is, but the idea is you're going down a road, and then you get to the end, and it's like, I felt like God told me to go down this road initially. Why did I go down this road? Just to turn around and go back and then go back down the other road. But I think that the message of the talk was, well, God told you to go down that road to find out that was not the right path, so that you then could go down the other one with confidence.
And keep going and
keep going. And I mean, similar to you, it's funny. Maybe that's why Blake said what he did, but like very similar. Like I thought I just thought I had like certain paths that I would maybe go down, and then academically it was almost like out of desperation was forced into kind of more of a business type path with sales as kind of the driver. And I've never since been like, I really want to go get my MBA or whatever. Like maybe one day God will tell me to go down that path. But I think that sometimes it's a good takeaway that failures, if you can kind of fail fast and get them out of the way, but then have confidence that God is like setting you down a different path and you can go at them and take risks and go all out. Totally. Just sounds like that's kind of what happened in your case. So you transitioned to
transitioned over to business. Went through just business administration or business management. Mm-hmm. And at the time, all through college, I worked at T-Mobile. I was just peddling cell phones.
Yeah, love it.
And which was awesome.
At the mall or what?
At one of them was at the mall. Yeah,
love it.
One
just
location, the little kiosk. Yeah, that's where I started, and
Dude,
it was honestly so fun.
Yeah.
And then I transitioned over to some other stores. I ended up becoming the store manager for a while, and that kind of got me through college.
Uh-huh.
I had started a couple small little businesses throughout college, a backpack company, some charging cable companies. That's kind of the boom where smartphones came into play.
Yeah.
So there was a ton of accessories and stuff that we would sell around that. But then I switched over to a company called Maloof. I worked with them for a long time. They're a mattress company. I sold wholesale to them or to business owners. Mm-hmm. And honestly, a pretty amazing job. We had a private jet that we flew on. I was over the Midwest, and so they would fly me out of the Logan Airport. We'd go on the jet. I'd literally like pull my truck up on the tarmac and I'd get up the 5 steps onto the plane and we'd take off. And
if you're gonna work for someone,
it was pretty sweet. I mean, I was at the time I was 24, 25 years old, and I was like, this is the high life. How could it get better than this? You know, we had a gym. They fed me and everything. The bad thing about it was that I was gone all the time. And when before we had the jet, we would just fly commercial, and that was fine. But when they got the jet, they're like, if we're gonna have a jet, you need to use it. And so that made me have to be out on the road even more, you know. And I feel like I kind of had something like the golden handcuff situation, right? Like it was great. I didn't get paid great, but from the outside looking in, it was a great
kind of one of those good is the enemy to great type concepts. Like it was at the time it was great, but there were, you know, looking back, it was probably a good thing that was maybe competing with something that could have been a little more better. Epic.
So one day I'm sitting in my office, and my wife sends me a text of my daughter rolling over for the first time. And that was like a dagger to my heart. I was like, no way.
Yeah.
Because to me, what I felt at that time, I felt if I was missing her rolling over, I was going to miss all the other firsts in my life, right?
Yeah.
Or in her life.
Yeah.
And I had vowed that I wasn't going to be that type of dad. And so I was like, something's got to change. So you're familiar with Jim Rohn. I'm sure a lot of the listeners are. Jim Rohn says something. He says, for things to change, you must change. I scribbled that on a sticky note, and I put it on my monitor at work. And from that day on, it was probably another couple months before. But I knew that for my life situation to change, I had to be the one to change it, because it wasn't going to change by itself. It was probably just going to keep being the same or getting worse, right? And if I wanted to be home and present and be the type of dad that I wanted to, then I needed to take Jim Rohn's advice and change something. And I felt like that change was quitting my job. So we saved up a little bit of money, and I quit. And it was the most scary / alleviating thing of my life.
Mm-hmm. You were like mid-20s, right?
I was mid-20s. I had just quit. I had a let's see, she was rolling over, so 4 months, 3 months old. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, including my family members, were like, what the heck are you doing? Quitting your job. You don't have another job. And I knew that if I wanted things to change, like that had to be the thing to change. And it was awesome. So I immediately got my real estate license. I knew that I had a sales background, and I could work for myself and sell some homes immediately. And so kind of the rest is history. I've done a lot in between then and now, but I got my real estate license and really started to be my own boss. But the thing that I was going for the whole time was that I could be home with my kids.
Yeah. You get to work for yourself now.
Yeah.
Have full control.
Yeah. And that was all I wanted, because I wanted to be the type of dad that was there for all those firsts. And going back to my thing, like I said earlier, that people are more important than things.
Yep.
I think that rings true every day in my life.
We got to get Dad Gang to sponsor.
That's right. Hey, I forgot I had this hat on today.
We need to clip that up and get those guys to send. Let's get a couple hats sent our way. No, I love that, dude. I really, really respect just the intentionality, and man, I see that now in your life. You know, fast forward now probably 10 years. It just feels like you're the captain of your ship, and you get to go and kind of like, you know, buy back your time, live the way that you want to, be there for those moments. So I really admire and I respect that.
Thanks, man.
So obviously I'm a real estate guy. I love real estate. That's kind of where I've parked a bunch of capital that I made in sales. As an investor. You're both on the agent and on the investor side. Let's chat more about on the agent side. So, I mean, did you basically just climb into real estate because of the classic, like, and most people create millions in real estate. It's just this vehicle that like works for people. So I'm going to go take my God-given sales skills and go put it in this thing that seems to be working for others? Or like, was there any deeper kind of thinking in terms of why choosing real estate as the vehicle? Yeah,
that's a great question. I feel like I was trying to marry my skills with what I really liked.
Cool.
Something that I've always loved is just like walking through homes. I love architecture. I love driving down the road and like looking at homes and how are the pitches on the roof of the homes, and
I could
why
tell
are the
that
windows like this.
Going through the parade of homes with you, seeing Sawyer Hemsley's house in Provo, the crumble cookie founder, walking through that house with you is like, you know, it was fun because I can tell like real estate I love it too, but your attention to detail and just like, I could tell you were just pumped about that whole experience. So that's cool.
Yeah. I feel like I've always loved that side of things. And so early on it was just what could I get into quick that I have skills of and that maybe I could do on the side if I needed to do something else as well. Like I didn't have a clear path. Like I really want to be a real estate agent.
Right.
I knew number one was that I needed to quit my job. Number two was I think a real estate agent, I could make some good money and be around something that I really like.
Right. Cool.
So
yeah, that makes tons of sense.
That was kind of the first little kickoff of that. It's since evolved into a lot more things, and I've gotten into more of a niche to where I'm at right now with luxury real estate.
Yep. Why have you chosen to go all in on higher end real estate?
Yeah.
I mean, because I do appreciate and respect people when they're like willing to say no to certain things to go, you know, chase down the highest and best use of their time or their energy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's a lot of real estate around here that's kind of like old and, you know, median priced or whatever. It just feels like you've been deliberate in terms of like, I'm going to go market myself, even with your social media and everything. It just feels like there's branding to it that's tied to, I sell high-end real estate.
Yeah. Well, thanks for noticing. I hope that's
it's working,
what it would
I mean, it's definitely
sell.
working.
I think my intention behind it is well, Benjamin Hardy,
Yep.
wrote a book, 10x is easier than 2x.
Yep.
I'm sure you've read it.
Love it. I have read
one
it.
of my all-time favorite books. But that book is really what made me think, okay, I have to niche down into something. I feel like, I mean, this is just a knock on myself. My whole life, I played sports. I've done a lot of things like growing up when I was a kid, and I've always just been mediocre. Mm-hmm. I've never been great at like the number one at anything, which is totally fine. But I want to be an amazing real estate agent. And I had to be deliberate in doing that, or in trying to do that. I don't feel like I'm there yet. But Benjamin Hardy's book, 10x is easier than 2x, made me think, okay, I have to niche down. Mm-hmm. And I have to go one direction and say no to a lot of other things. As I'm sure in your career, you've had to do that as well.
Sure.
And so that was kind of me niching down into,
Cool.
And I took a lot of, I had a bunch of pros and cons lists and stuff. And what I settled on was luxury real estate. That was what I really liked. And I felt like I was close enough to a luxury market that I could make that happen.
Yeah.
After I started driving there a lot, it's a ways away. It takes me an hour and a half to get to Park City. But I've noticed that the more I've niched down, the more success I can see myself having.
Yeah.
Or I should say potential success, right? And so that's kind of why I've moved away from just being a general real estate agent in Utah.
Yep.
To trying to whittle it down, luxury in a specific area.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I really like that. I think that, I mean, my takeaway from that book, 10x is easier than 2x, is just this concept of like 2x is about effort. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to go get 10x results just with like working harder.
Yeah.
And so if you want to go get 10x results and make 10x the income or have 10x the impact, like you got to go rethink my strategy. Like I got to go basically flush the whole thing down the toilet and start over. Yep. And so in your case, what you're saying is like, okay, I have this skill set, I have this knowledge, but like I need to go change up my strategy so much to where I need to make myself like unavailable to a certain portion of the market almost to be able to just go all in and be known as the guy. Because real estate is, I mean, I've seen this. It's like the ones that sell high-end real estate sell high-end real estate. Like they're the ones. And there's this thing where it's like, hey, this is a $6 million home. You're an agent that's done some volume, but you've sold a bunch of, condos or duplexes in Provo.
Yeah.
And there's like, are you sure you can do this transaction? So I think that's awesome. I guess my piggyback question on that would be how important, because I think branding, I've been leaning into personal branding. Obviously this whole, like the podcast and all that's a part of that for me.
Totally.
It's something that I like, it was not a priority in my life. Really until like a year ago.
Yeah.
And our mastermind group, like Brody and some of those guys challenged me to go kind of dig into that. Cause it obviously it has a lot of potential to go serve you with your day job, but then also just in future endeavors and impact and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's been fun for me, but my question for you is just like, what have been the impacts that you've seen as you've been deliberate about your branding and how you look on Instagram and your website and stuff? Because again, for me, like I pull it up and there's like amazing alignment and you are a people person, you're intentional about your networking, but that stuff matters a ton too as like a
kind of to give some credibility behind it.
It's like a second witness almost. It's like, hey, I met Shane at an open house. He's a stud. He's saying the right things. He has the track record, but like a lot of people nowadays, whether they're 18 to 30 year olds, like a lot of my listeners, or even like 50, 60-year-old billionaires. Like a lot of people are like interested in like, what's the street cred on his, how does he look and feel online too?
Totally.
So maybe speak to that.
I feel like the you could call it social media realm of things is really important to, like you're saying, really important just to have that credibility.
Yeah.
I haven't been good at all until this mastermind. So it sounds like
Really?
we both got a
Cool.
lot out of this mastermind.
Yeah.
But in January of this year, so we're in June right now, but in January of this year, we were in some break-off group, and we had talked about how important social media was.
Yeah.
And I vowed to myself that I would get on the bandwagon of social media. I didn't know how it was gonna work, but right now, I'm doing, I call it a 75 Hard Business Edition.
Cool.
And I think I've talked to you a little bit about it.
Yep.
But in that business edition is posting every day. And that holds my feet to the fire, because if I don't do it, or if I fail, I have to run a half marathon the next Saturday.
I think a couple dates ago when we hung out with you guys, you were like the day after having to run one of those.
I
so
failed
he
once.
Literally punishes himself for not posting on social media. So how committed to you are you to your goals? I think that's pretty cool.
And I have to have the integrity for myself, right? To do that. And so the branding side, I've had to evolve. My first posts have been terrible. I've had social media for a long time, but just recently this year, I feel like my social media feed has evolved.
Yeah.
And I think still, I feel like there's a game of like, I'm faking it, right? I'm not the best real estate agent. I'm not the best luxury real estate agent. Mm-hmm. I'm one of a lot of them. And I'm just trying to corner my side of the market, make relationships, and do the best I can to provide for my family.
Yeah.
But there's still that side of me that wants to be like the absolute best, right? And
I see it though as, sorry to cut you off, I see it as like time. Again, it's like I'm jumping ahead of myself, because now I'm going to talk about like investing almost, but it's like as a real estate investor, time in the market beats timing the market, right?
True.
And I would say the same. I would argue the same thing, like with what we're talking about with social media, because I feel the same way. I'm like, there's that little voice in your head where you're like, dude, you're late to this thing. There's so many people that have like 1 million followers, and there's a zillion podcasts out there.
No one's gonna watch.
This is the time has come and gone. But I love what you said. It's just like, that might all be true, but like, I'm going to go pick this is a big pie, and I'm going to go capture some of it, and it's going to serve me. And you have two choices. You can sit on the sidelines, or you can like start. Mm-hmm. And I think whether it's investing in real estate, or it's starting in social media, or taking the risk, like whatever that business venture is that like you feel called to go do, I promise you, in 10 years, you're not going to look back and be like, dang, I really wish I wouldn't have started.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I would have waited I wish I would have like started 5 years later. Like, that would have been way better for me.
Yeah.
Like, rarely in life do we have these regrets where we're like, I shouldn't have started that thing that was good that early.
Yeah.
Like, what? That doesn't even make any sense.
Exist.
So whether that's with social media, to your point, because I guarantee you, Shane, like I think your stuff's awesome. Let's put 2-3 years more behind it. Dude, you're going to be the guy in Park City. Like, I predict that. And so, yeah, it's kind of one of those cool thoughts that the earlier you start, the better. And I love that, sharing those types of thoughts with my followers, because, like, it feels like as I'm 32 now, like, all the good decisions I made in my 20s, the only thought I have maybe to add on top of it is just like, if I had started a little bit earlier.
A little bit earlier.
Yeah.
I think you said something really, really important, that just starting, right?
Yeah.
Putting one foot in front of the other. My wife calls it messy action. That just starting something. Yeah. Like, you're not going to be the best YouTuber right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
Like, look at Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
His videos are terrible.
Yeah.
They're like hard to watch even.
Yeah.
And now he obviously billions of views, largest YouTuber in the world right now.
Yeah.
And so I think what you said is super important. Just starting something.
Yeah.
And whether you're passionate about it or want to be passionate about it, I think just starting is half the battle.
Yeah, because once you're started, like, you can go steer the car. Like, you can't steer a car that's not moving, but like, once that thing started, you can go change that business's name. It's fine. Like go change, go restructure a partnership, go change who your target customer is, go change your strategy, whatever your thing is that you're going to chase down. Like with social media, for me, it's like I've tried like 3 or 4 different things now, and I'm like, that didn't work. But it's back to that like Elder Holland talk that we were talking about. It's like, okay, that looked really stupid. Like, I'm going to try this now, and I'm going to keep rocking this road until like this one ends, or until I just feel like I need to pivot again. And that's just life. I think that's like a really cool way to go live life sometimes, is that like ready, fire, aim mentality. And again, like I think what's cool about the age you and I are both at now is like we've had enough runway behind us to see some of the benefit of like the investments we've made or the hustle that we have gone and put forth, to know that like, I should just like keep doing this or feed it even more, because you give it another 10 years and like this could really be something. Yeah,
if we could rinse and repeat.
Maybe that's one of the cool questions I want to end on, Shane, is like, a bunch of listeners are 20 years old, right off a mission, or maybe 20 to 25 years old. I mentioned this earlier in the episode, but I think like your 20s, I view them as like this decade of decisions, meaning like a lot of times in your 20s, you go figure out a job that you're going to go run in for some time, or you find your spouse, or you go choose what to study, or there's a lot that happens in that decade.
Yeah.
What advice or what nuggets could you share to people that are kind of in those years of life that, like, if you went back and redid it, would maybe think about doing it a little bit differently?
Yeah, that's a great question. I go back, my mind goes back to thinking about when I was that age, or even like back just finishing high school. I remember always looking forward to the next phase, like always wanting to be that type of person, right? Or when I grow up, I really want to have that sweet boat that this family friend has, or whatever, And I think going when it really comes back to it is I'm really excited, or I'm really glad that we my wife and I, we waited 6 years to have kids. And not saying that everyone has to wait to have kids, but we had an amazing time together. We traveled like crazy. We kind of went the opposite direction of what everyone tells you to, like, save your money, and then when you retire, you can travel. We like traveled like crazy. We were broke as a joke. And then, but I feel like it served us a lot. We gained a lot of life experience. We got to know each other. And I feel like that started our marriage off on a really good
that foot. Probably also served. I mean, I think the first question I asked was just like, how do you go get aligned in terms of your vision? But like, if you can go get outside of Utah and go see the world and see how cool it is and how many amazing things are out there to go experience, then it's like, what do we want? Well, we want this. But to go do this like sustainably long term, we got to go, like, there's going to be a cost and a price tag to go build a life where we can consistently go and experience cool things like this. So then it just like puts you in a position that's powerful to go get excited about pulling on that rope together.
Yeah, totally.
So one nugget would be like, go and experience life young, and don't wait till you're old.
Yep. Don't wait till you're old. The money's gonna come. The things are gonna come. I think experience life, experience others, I think is huge. Number one, right? Because who you marry will significantly determine the pathway of your life. I'm a very big believer in that. Number two is, and you and I both believe this wholeheartedly, is real estate. I think I used to coach people on how to get into short-term rentals. I had a short-term rental portfolio, and then I had a coaching business that I coached people how to get in and evaluate properties. The number one deterrent for people not getting into real estate is they just felt like it was this huge rock to climb, that they didn't know how or what, or it was just like they're looking up at a big old rock, like
right.
wide-eyed, and they don't know how to approach it.
Right.
So many resources out there, obviously, but there's so many ways to get into real estate. Sorry, my phone. So many ways to get into real estate without your own money. I think getting into real estate in your 20s will be such a good way to set you and your family up for future success. Because if you can get all the scaries out of your way right up front, right? Then you can just keep doing it. And if I were to look back and say, what's the one thing that I wish I would have done sooner? It would have been real estate. My wife and I bought our first townhome when we got married, but I wish that I would have done more, and I wish I would have put more money into them, because time plus real estate equals freedom. Right. And I think you've experienced that too, right? Of buying early on. But I think this idea of that real estate is super scary, and I have to have a lot of money to get into it. There are so many people that will even let you partner with them, or will kick you $20,000 if you can go find them a good deal, right? Or
that's so true. I'm at the phase now where, like, I'd go be a capital partner for someone that would go partner with me on a house hack deal where they would live in it. And I'm like, I want the benefits of what you can provide as a young, flexible, mobile 22-year-old.
And you don't have to that person doesn't have to bring any money. In, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I love that thought.
So I think there's so many ways to be creative within real estate that I would hate to see someone who wants to get into real estate and not, because they feel like they have to have the money to get into it.
Way cool.
I think there's a lot of resources and podcasts and YouTube videos of how to be creative. But I think really the thing that I keep coming back to on this podcast is relationships. Comes back to relationships. Who do you want to learn from? Whose life would you switch places with, right? Get to know what they're doing, how they're doing it. I think that would be one of the biggest nuggets I love
that. No, I think those three are awesome, man. So go experience life. Don't wait till you're old to go see the place, to go visit the, something that inspires you. Go on the trips. You're young and mobile and flexible. Start investing your money at a young age. And a lot of people would listen to those two and feel like they compete. But, like, go learn in life to be an and person, not an or person.
I like that a lot.
Like, I tell my reps that all the time. Like, people probably hear number 1 and 2 there and say, like, why are you sharing why are your 3 nuggets, 2 of them compete against each other? They don't. Like,
they don't
find
have
a way.
to.
They don't. Like, you can go to school and make a ton of money in the summer in my program. Like, you can be an and person in life. So go travel the world, start investing your money young, and prioritize your relationships. I think that third one, just to speak to yours, like, there's a couple people in my life that I met in my 20s that, like, if they didn't exist in my life, I just would not even be where I'm at in my life. Like, so go find mentors, go find people that you would trade places with as a young person because they've built something special, and then go copy and paste. Like, ask them questions, be teachable, show up for people. Relationships are everything, and I love that. And I love that as the theme for this episode. I was thinking the other day about this just came to my mind, but my stepdad passed within the year. And I was thinking about, I was on the airplane like 2 weeks ago, like coming home from visiting a team, and I was just like kind of getting in my feels, just thinking about life. And sometimes long trips away from family will get you like feeling some kind of way. But I started thinking about, like, his funeral day and, like, how hard of a day that was. And then I thought about my mission president, who lives in St. George, driving up 4 hours that morning and didn't tell me he was coming. I didn't even invite him because it was such a long distance away. Funeral was like 8, or no, it wasn't 8. It was like 9 or 10 in the morning. So I stood up to give my talk, and the first person I looked out, there's a bunch of people there. And the first person I caught eyes with was my mission president. And again, I had no expectation of him being there. but there was like something in me that was like, oh my gosh, like I really needed to see you first before I see anyone else.
Yeah.
And it like said to my heart and my soul, like, it's going to be okay. And that one, again, like relationship, that person, he showed up for me in a way that was just like everything. And like, I would give away everything I have in life to like go be able to be that person for others, is like the good stuff in life. And so I love this idea of to your point, at a young age, of prioritizing relationships, and not always with an agenda too, right? Like just with the like, how do I go deep and
just being authentic, being yourself. I think to go along with what you're saying, so many people are willing to give their knowledge, right? If you have that person that you look up to, they're willing to give of their knowledge. They're willing to let you come shadow them for a while, right? They're willing to maybe connect you with other people. And so just being willing to approach them, right? And be that person. And I hope to one day or eventually be that type of person as well, that can give of my time and resources freely. Like that.
Well, I feel like you are that type of dude. Like every time my wife and I come home from hanging with you guys, it's always like they're so aligned and connected, Shane and Andrea, but also I feel like you understand the principle of reciprocity like better than maybe any person that I've met. Like I actually really do mean that. Like,
that's nice.
I feel like this idea of like give and never ask, and then like, but at some point, like, asks are inevitable in life. Like, it's just like sometimes in life you need something, or like, and but I just feel like you guys are such givers. And so maybe that's one more thing I would just add, like, learn from Shane's example on how to give and not be a taker. And if you go do that, I shared this on an episode earlier, but like this concept of how do I go help as many people in life get what they want, and if I do, then I will get what I want in life. And so I think that's a cool way to that concept is really, really cool. So anyway, this has been fun, man. Thank you for coming on. Good memories ahead for sure, dude. I'm super excited about the future, and I will go do a bunch of awesome stuff together. And we've already made some memories. Like I said, last week we went through the Parade of Homes, and we went through the founder of Crumble's house, which is like a Willy Wonka. It's like a modern day Willy Wonka house. Pretty insane. It was actually I think it was a pretty cool house.
And they were giving out crumble cookies.
And which didn't hurt.
Which was amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go through it again.
Let's run it back. I probably still have the ticket in my car somewhere. So anyway, thanks for coming on, bro. I appreciate you, and we'll let's do this again sometime.
Thanks, brother.